As you guys can see up on the screen today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Docusign Incorporated. This is ticker symbol DOCU, and this 5-day chart that I have on the screen right now, kind of tells you the whole story. I mean, this thing looks like a massive cliff, and that's exactly what happened today. This stock fell off a cliff. This is a decently sized company, $26.5 billion market cap. This is a stock that a lot of people know about. A lot of people, especially in the business world, maybe you're in college, maybe you're, in your professional career, you've probably used Docusign or some kind of, equivalent technology or company or whatever before for, e-signing of documents and stuff like that. Especially in the post-pandemic world where, a lot of things have gone online, a lot of things have gone remote, a lot of business and very, very big business deals are all happening remotely. They're happening virtually. They're happening online. And obviously those things need to be verified. These things need to be signed off on. These things need to be approved. And, Docusign and companies like that and Dropbox and these other companies come in very, very handy for a lot of this e-signing of documents and other things like that. Docusign has been a massive winner from the pandemic, from this, post-COVID world, as I was saying. But man, things went bad for them today, being down 42% after hours, still almost down a whole nother percent. I mean, this thing was trading around 230, 235 on Thursday, and now to be sitting at 135 is crazy. I know this is a company that some people like a lot. Obviously, at least Yahoo Finance coming into the day, I was saying that things are overvalued. I don't know if we have the statistics or anything for this. I believe this would have been old. It had a forward PE of 114, 115 coming into the day, or from their last earnings report. I believe this is from their last earnings report. By some standard metrics, you could say it was maybe a little bit overvalued. Price to sales being 26. But people were expecting a lot of growth. This company was seeing a lot of growth. They were seeing a lot of good things. But again, to be cut like this is obviously some really, really bad news. But there is also some good news involved with this stock and in this story today as well, just kind of depending on how you look at things. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. But with that being said, let's get right into this. What the heck is going on with Docu? So Yahoo Finance has this article, Docusign shares fall 40%. That's the bad news. But what I'm saying is the good news, and what a lot of people are seeing as kind of some good news in a way. Again, it sucks to see your portfolio or even a single stock in your portfolio being down 42%. I mean, your portfolio could be doing really, really well. And if you own a stock that goes down 42%, your entire portfolio is most likely all of a sudden, not doing so good. I mean, a loser like that can really, really hurt you. And, the stock market as a whole was down today. S&P's down almost a full percent. Dow's down a little bit. Nasdaq's down almost 2%. Russell's down over 2%. So there's a lot of blood in the water today. A lot of people losing a lot of money, but again, not many companies down, 30, 40, 42, 43% in a single day. But on the bright side, again, a lot of people have liked Docu. That's how you get a company to the valuation. That's how you get the share price appreciation that we've seen over the last 2 years for Docu. So people who liked this stock yesterday, obviously some things have changed now that these reports and everything have come out. But if you still like the stock, you're getting it for 42% off. And the CEO himself is backing up his stock, backing up his company, saying that he is going to be buying $5 million worth of more stock. So, he thinks it's a good time to buy. He thinks this news is overblown. He thinks the stock sell-off is overblown. And he's also trying to instill confidence in investors and, just people in his company in general, saying that, hey, we're going to come back from this, and this is a great price to be buying at, which I think is really cool. Putting your money where your mouth is kind of the ultimate statement at the end of the day. So Docusign CEO Dan Springer is owning up some execution mistakes in the third quarter that did their part to send shares down more than 40% on Friday as traders digested the company's latest earnings. Springer told Yahoo Finance Live he will buy shares next week as the one-day plunge doesn't make sense given Docusign's leadership position and growth potential. They are the number one company, in e-signing of documents right now. They are the market leader, again, which is always a really, really good thing. Obviously, again, they do have some competition in like Dropbox being the second biggest in the space, I do believe. But kind of a little bit weird to me that Docusign went down 42% and Dropbox is only down 2 or 3%. I thought, Dropbox It could have gone one of two ways. Some weakness in Docusign could be good for Dropbox. Obviously your competition not doing so well is sometimes good for you, but sometimes similar companies to you not doing well can be a bad sign for you. And maybe there's some writing on the wall that maybe Dropbox isn't going to have the best earnings in the world or anything like that. So there's two different ways to look at that. If you are a Dropbox investor, this could either be a very, very good story for you or very, very bad as well, kind of depending on if it's a Docusign specific, issues going on, or if this is broader market or even broader kind of sector issues and everything at play. But this is their CEO Springer saying, I am surprised. I'll be straightforward with you. I do not see the reaction in the stock price to be commensurate with what I think is a much less dramatic business performance change. I've made 2 phone calls since I saw the reaction. First was to my general counsel, and I asked him if there's anything that stops me from buying stock. He said, as long as you wait until the window opens on Tuesday and you haven't been selling shares, so therefore you can buy all you want. And the second was to my financial advisor and lined up the first $5 million of purchases. So if the stock doesn't dramatically increase, I'll be continuing to buy shares, which again should be really, really cool for people who are still holding the stock, even down 42% today, or should be really, really cool for people who are, maybe on the fence about getting into DocuSign now that they see some of the numbers and stuff. The sharp negative market reaction comes as DocuSign's third quarter billings growth lagged Wall Street forecasts as customers put off purchases with workers beginning to return to the office. Springer added the company perhaps took its eyes off the ball with respect to obtaining new customers, something he plans to course correct by shaking up the executive suite at the company. So he's acting like he has plans. He's acting like he has ways that they're going to be able to figure this whole thing out. That's way, way, way easier said than done. And yes, obviously, as we get closer and closer to one day, hopefully the pandemic eventually being finished, life is maybe going to go back to normal to some extent. But obviously, in some ways, the effects of the pandemic and alterations to our life are going to be felt probably for the rest of our lives. And obviously, that can be a good thing, for companies like DocuSign who have benefited from this. But just because you won big during the pandemic doesn't mean you're automatically going to win big after it. And yes, some companies will need to shift focus. They'll need to change their plans up. They'll need to figure out new ways to continue growing business, to continue growing revenue, to continue making money. And again, the fact that DocuSign has struggled to do that so far, again, missing expectations and stuff, especially for a company that was so richly priced. They had a lot of growth, a lot of expectations priced in. Once you start missing expectations, that can get really, really scary really, really fast. Not only in the short term, like, oh, we thought you were going to do better, you didn't, whatever, we'll bounce back, but also, are we going to do good in the future? 1, 2, 5 years from now, say the world goes mostly back to normal, is DocuSign still a strong player, in that post-COVID world? I don't know, and that's what investors don't know either, and that uncertainty is what is causing a lot of the sell-off, obviously. So DocuSign performed compared to Wall Street's estimates. They had $545.5 million in sales versus $532.6, $565 million in billings versus $594 expected, and then a diluted EPS of 0.58 versus 0.46. For the fourth quarter, DocuSign sees its billings growth of about 20% versus the 28% realized in the third quarter. Wall Street analysts moved quickly to downgrade their ratings and price targets, including UBS and JP Morgan. Again, whenever that stuff happens, you're going to see the market, usually go with it. The investors don't like to see people downgrading their stocks and everything. And even a longtime DocuSign bull, Dan Ives, had especially harsh words on their quarter, calling it a debacle. So definitely some bad news, definitely a rough earnings report for DocuSign, and definitely some bad news for shareholders of the company. But again, there's always going to be people that are saying, hey, I'm ready to buy the dip. Hey, DocuSign, I loved them yesterday. I love them 40% more today. And apparently their CEO might be one of those, which could also be a good sign. I don't exactly know, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, no financial advice in this video, just kind of, covering the stories, letting you guys know what's going on, keeping you guys up to date. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I'd appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Docu. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.